Facebook, it's Jeff, and it's Thursday night. That means it's Mastery Chat night, which means, hey, we're recapping Mastery Chat. I've got one of our three. We had like three co-hosts, which is really cool here today. Marisol, and you're like just getting off the plane, or were you in a car? Are you in a car? Were you on a plane first, then a car, or like 6 planes, then a car? You were in a couple different cities the last few days. You were all over the place. So can you? Well, first off, hi. How are you?
Hi.
I know you're settled and you're waiting for your grandbaby to get there, so we're going to try and be fairly quick because I know when she comes in, you're just going to bounce off. But first, can you say really quick before we get into the chat, where you've been around a little bit? Can you give us a quick little like, this is who I am? Kind of introduce yourself and let us know where you've been the last few days. I know you've been on the road, which is kind of exciting. So,
yeah, so I was an educator for 21 years. Middle school, high school English teacher, became an assistant principal and principal in elementary school. Most amazing professional development experience of my life. And then I became an alternative charter high school principal, another amazing experience. And my last work in the system, I worked for the juvenile court and community schools. So I led the career readiness and career technical ed program. And I made the decision to leave so that I can do work wherever it is that I'm needed. There's a lot of need in the alternative world, alternative education, also around cultural responsiveness. One of the things that is really important to me is restorative practices, and that work in doing that work specifically with adults, because I feel like we carry a lot of pain and trauma. And restorative practices is a way of us being able to heal that. And then also that can then trickle into our work with our students and with community. I feel like it's transformational, which is really needed. And so in saying that, so I left the county on June 30th, and I am traveling a lot. I've been blessed with work. So I was in Las Vegas, Sacramento, and Nashville. I was in Sacramento. I do some work with a nonprofit, and we work with people who are reentering the community from incarceration. And we have what's called a community mentor model. So all of our mentors have lived experience. So they're people that have been in, the prison system as adults. Mm-hmm. Some of them were lifers, and they are now, instead of harming community, coming back and rebuilding community. So really beautiful work. Yeah. I also, and I was doing work with Education Post in Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm here.
Yes, you made it though, which is great. So I thought it was a great chat. So let's talk about the chat. How are you feeling about the chat after that? I mean, after it's a whirlwind sometimes, isn't it?
It went really fast. What I'm really appreciating is the openness that the Mastery Chat professional learning network has, like the openness to like question, to just even like say, even like, I don't really know too much about this, or I'm thinking this.
Yes.
And then also people that have expertise in this area. There is somebody who came up, I believe she was something consulting. She had this really beautiful graphic for cultural responsive teaching. It was beautiful. So the conversation was really great.
Yeah, definitely was. So the I have the topic flown across the bottom there, but it was Happy Halloween. What's culture got to do with it? So when you and Carolyn and Ingrid were coming up with this and coming up with the questions and stuff, sort of, what was the reason in your head about why? So why this topic? Why the questions? What were you kind of hoping everyone would get from it and take away from the chat?
Well, so Ingrid and Carolyn, so Ingrid is in Orange County and Carolyn is in Colorado. And we met through the National Institute for Latino School Leaders. So the three of us have done, work with predominantly Latino students in different states, different focus. And all of us are now, we've all left the system. So we have been working together on a project. So we meet weekly. And this book, Cultural Responsive Teaching in the Brain, by Zarita Hammond. One of the things that we're doing is we're doing a book study. And so in the project that we've been working on and the opportunity to do the Mastery Chat, my initial thought was just to go in on restorative practices. But my thinking then was this is a really great opportunity for the three of us to start to like put together our experience, our thoughts, and our, start to promote and provoke this discussion with cultural responsiveness. And then like it fell on Halloween. And the
Yeah.
other thing that was surprised me, I thought it was gonna be the three of us and you talking to each other.
Yeah, the Master Chat community, I think that PLN just always surprises me, because I mean, just in general, when you think about it, every Thursday that we do it, and we've been doing it for 2.5 years now, I think it is, and we have around 100, 150 teachers every week that sometimes upwards of 6 or 7 different countries, and these are teachers who they've already been in school for 8 to 10 hours a day. They've dealt with who knows what all throughout the day. They're in a mix of either preparing dinner or finishing dinner or eating dinner or getting ready for bed, and yet they take an hour or more out of their day, out of their evening, or out of their trip home, whatever it might be, depending on what time zone they're in, to participate in this, to try and learn and grow. And I think that's awesome. So even on a night like tonight, I know a lot of people were out with Halloween. I know we had a lot of people who said, hey, I want to be there, but I can't be, and I'm getting candy. Still so many people in there and active and stuff. It was really great. I really love that about this community. We're really fortunate to be a part of it. So you mentioned you touched on a few people that had some nice posts and stuff.
Sorry, my kid, hold on 1 second.
Yeah, she's got to go say hi to her grandbaby. So while she's doing that, I'm going to mention, just because we're only a week away now from the Teach Better Conference. So if you haven't registered for the Teach Better Conference, we now only have 10 registration spots open, and then we are sold out. So this is probably going to be sold out by the end of this weekend, if not sooner. So make sure you head over to teachbetterconference.com. Use JeffCon50 to get $50 off your 2-day registration, and get there. We only got 10 slots left, and then we are sold out. So do that. Did you get a chance? Did you say hi?
The giant pizza fell.
Oh no!
My 14-year-old daughter was apparently trying to carry the pizza in the house.
Boy, what havoc we are causing on your house today with Master Chat. I'll tell you what.
Okay, where is the conference again?
The conference is here by me, actually, in Cuyahoga Falls, Akron, Ohio, so Northeast Ohio. I'm about 35 minutes south of Cleveland. So we're right here. We call it Akron, Ohio, but it's technically in Cuyahoga Falls, the city. So that's next Friday, Saturday. So we're super excited. Yeah, we're right on the cusp of selling out, which is great. So super excited about it. So back to the chat.
Yes.
And I don't want to keep you long because I want to let you get going, because now there's pizza there too. So I'm going to throw maybe 2 more questions at you, and then we'll let you roll. But so one thing was, you mentioned like someone posting something really nice, and you liked how open people were. Were there any responses to questions or maybe conversations that started that either surprised you in a good way or bad, or really excited you or made you really proud of the chat, or anything like that really kind of stuck in your head?
There was a gentleman who it looks like has lived all over the world. I don't remember his name, but one of the things that he had asked was if we still do the Pledge of Allegiance in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think so, just kind of like that thread of that discussion. So he, it sounds like, I don't know if he was American or not, but it sounds like he's been all over the world and is now in Latin America. But that idea of how he was like, where did that even start from, and why is it mandatory? And in my thinking, I was like, I remember growing up, I'm 45, but that idea that was being sold was that America was the melting pot. And at that time, we were open to immigrants. We're a country built, on immigrants,
Mm-hmm.
a nation stolen, but a country that then had been built on immigrants. So that idea then that we would almost lose our cultural immigrant identity and then meld into this American identity. And I think part of that is what then that Pledge of Allegiance was about. So it was interesting. I wasn't necessarily
Yeah, I'm not so sure the entire country's in that same spot anymore. But
at all.
That's a conversation, a much deeper conversation for now. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go back. I did not see. That's another thing about Master Chat is you and I were both in there, but there's so many different conversations that I didn't even catch that one. So I got to go back. I love going back for an hour afterwards and finding all the little conversations that were in there or not. So last question for me, and if you don't mind. So I was curious, of all the questions that you put together, was there one specific question that you were excited to see the answer for, and did you see what you thought, or maybe not? Can you remember all of them?
Yes, of course. I think the one that was really like around deep culture, and it was like, how does your deep culture show up? Because we don't think about culture. Like we don't, even conversations that we've had, we just assume that our experience is the experience of others.
Yeah.
And so looking at those diagrams that Zarita Hammond, has put together that shows the surface, it's the surface, the shallow, and the deep culture, like getting into that, I think that opportunity for people to like, me doing that as a part of my deep culture. That's the one that I was really excited about. And I was also excited about the responses. The one thing that got to me that I hadn't thought about, and it came up a couple of times, was that in that surface culture, that one of the challenges is that those become stereotypes. In the surface culture being holidays, attire, food. And that to me, like that is a big danger zone. I was just excited overall about the chat because I really feel like it was an opportunity. And Carolyn and Ingrid and I, the three of us, I think we were very intentional in wanting to like provoke reflection and thought at a deeper level. Yeah,
which you're so amazing at. I think the work you do and the topic and everything that was in this chat and everything that you do in your day to day is such an important conversation to be had. I've had the pleasure of talking with you just briefly a few different times, and the way that you've caused me to reflect and think about things that I never have is still surprises me every day, and I'm thankful for that. So I'm really glad that you took the chat and brought two others along and provoked those thoughts, and hopefully we'll do it more. But I do want to let you go because I know you got things to do. So if there's any last words you'd like to leave anyone who's watching for around this topic, maybe it's just like a last thought to take with them tonight and beyond, what would that be?
To really be brave and to do that reflection of yourself, of your culture, and of how you're opening up that space in your classroom for not just your kids, but for their parents, for their families, for their stories. But I think that first step is honoring and being brave, like your own experience. And also, like, I'm here. So if you need anything, anybody needs anything, I'm here. And I know Ingrid and Carolyn the same.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you so much, and both of them as well. So thank you very much for that. Enjoy some time with your family in the massive pizza that hopefully is not on the ground anymore. But I appreciate you, all of you watching. We appreciate you as well. We'll see you next week, back same time, same place, 8:00 Eastern, over on Twitter. And hopefully I'll see some of your beautiful shining faces at the Teach Better Conference next Friday, Saturday as well. Have a great night.
Thank you, Jeff. Bye-bye.